think it's a hugely hyped topic at the moment, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I think on the positive side, the last few years has just been a phenomenal change in the way people are communicating with each other and with organisations. And every organisation I speak to is trying to get their head around that. They're trying to grapple with the question, how do we understand what's going on? How do we respond to that? How do we learn from that? The second side of that is that there's an awful lot of hype around this topic at the moment. And in some ways it's like the sort of early boom bust and then gradual build back of the CRM market that happened. I think we will undoubtedly go through the wave of hype that happens with every new technology, every new market trend. People trailblaze ahead, a few people get it wrong, trough of disillusionment, and then we work back up. So that's bound to happen, and it's such a new topic for most organisations that there's going to be learning, and you've got to learn through failing. I think the change now will be the speed, and a lot of the solutions that you can deploy for social CRM are so quick to get up and running with. We're not going through a 1 year, 18-month build of a CRM program before we realise actually it wasn't quite what we're looking for. The speed at which you can deploy some of these things now is incredibly fast. So I think really one of the ways CRM started to work was when CRM became more agile, was when CRM projects were broken down into small digestible chunks, and we tried, we tested, we iterated. That approach should be the default approach for social CRM. And that's going to mean, there'll be some failures, but hopefully they'll be smaller, controllable. We can learn and move on from those. I think the first is, we've got to learn from the boom and bust of CRM, which is that this is not a technology-centric solution. CRM never was, and anyone that approached it in that way got it wrong. So the first thing is we've got to start with the customer in mind. I think the second thing, and the hardest thing for most organisations, is making the mindset shift from thinking inside out, what can we do to our customers, what can we sell at our customers, to thinking outside in, what jobs are the customers trying to do, how does this fit within the overall customer experience, and how can we help that. And I think the specific challenge that sometimes brings up is that a lot of this stuff requires giving up some control. If you're asking your customers to submit product reviews, some of those are going to be negative. We've got to get over that. There's no way around that. You can't give up control and just have positive content. The thing you have to do is be able to listen and respond to all those things, and listen and learn and then fix. There's probably two levels. I think there's the really basic level around the sort of guidelines and training and understanding of these social tools that many, for example, customer service agents may never have used before. And each of the different social channels will have its own protocols, and it's quite important to understand those. So that's probably the most basic level. But I think then you get right into the sort of core behaviours and incentives of the organisation as well. In the CRM market, I used to always use the example of the classic of paying customer service agents on average call handle time versus paying them on first contact resolution. And those two metrics drove entirely different behaviours. On one hand, an agent was incentivised to hang up the phone as quickly as they could. On the other, the agent's incentivised to fix the customer's problem. So I think it can be as fundamental as that, really, is looking at the overall incentives of the organisation, making sure they're aligned to the customer strategy. I think it's two things actually. I think social CRM or social media provides most organisations as a starting point with an equal mix of opportunity and threat. And so on one side, social CRM allows you to monitor those threats and in a way put out the sparks of discontent, if you want, before they become fires. So this is the classic, social media monitoring. Something's going wrong, we've got to either respond directly to that individual or fix something, fix a broken product, fix a broken process. So on one side, there's huge value there. We're talking about call deflection, we're talking about fixing problems at source. On the other side, there's the opportunity side, and the opportunity side is more sales and marketing driven. It's the viral marketing potential of some of these technologies. It's the recommendations of friends. It's the advocacy side of things. So I think you need to approach this with a fairly balanced starting point, which is opportunity and threat in equal measure. And one mistake people have perhaps made today is that social media has been owned by marketing. Marketing typically have just viewed it as another outbound PR channel. That's a really dangerous place to be. I think that social media is here now, it's here to stay. The way customers are interacting is fundamentally different. There is not an option as to whether you participate or not, because customers are already talking about you. Now, whether you choose to listen, whether you choose to respond, well, that's a different question. But it is happening. I think so. That's maybe the business angle. I think from the technology side, what we see at the moment is a highly fragmented vendor landscape, and a whole bunch of vendors trying to play catch up, trying to be the first to build a comprehensive suite. And you see that from the existing CRM vendors that are moving into this space. You see that from the startup social CRM vendors who are broadening outwards. There's no question at all we're going to see a huge amount of consolidation in the vendor landscape.